welcome to the Clockwork Percussion Podcast. Today's guest is Oliver Dobrian from the band Filmspeed. Welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, happy to be here.
Absolutely. I just wanted to open it up to you and ask you what you're doing these days.
Yeah, these days we're in full album promotion mode. Filmspeed has an album, hopefully, fingers crossed, coming out in October.
Okay.
So all the songs are done. We're just kind of in the zone of like getting some PR lined up for it. We actually were just shooting. I think Nick and Craig, my bandmates, are at the studio right now shooting more music video.
Wow.
That's what we've been doing literally today, was making a music video for one of our singles. And yeah, we're just kind of in full promotion mode. But yeah, we just had a show last night in San Diego. That was fun at the Till 2 Club.
Cool.
Don't know if you've ever been there.
No.
Yeah, it's a cool little divey bar in San Diego. But yeah, it was fun. Just kind of, super punky vibes, and just played loud, and it was cool. Yeah. And that's basically the latest in Filmspeed land for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to say, when I saw you, what was it, last week?
I guess so, yeah. At the Wayfair there, yeah.
It had been a while since I saw you guys, and the songwriting, like the compositions, just struck me as amazing.
No, thanks, man. Yeah.
The way you guys cut in and out, like dynamically as instrumentalists,
right? Yeah,
and everything, and your particular attention to the song and where you fit in and out, and like build ups and breakdowns and everything. They're like power pop masterpieces.
Oh, thanks, man. We're all three of us massive power pop fans, so that's kind of all our favorite thing to do, is just try and make the song as interesting and catchy as possible. We just like the craftsmanship of it, just cool hooks, cool parts. Yeah, something clever,
Yeah. And then you all sing.
Yeah. Well, there's only three of us, so the philosophy is, we need as much noise as possible.
Sure.
If there's only going to be three of us on stage, we gotta all contribute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you're in album promotion mode. What's the name of the album?
The album's going to be called No More Rules.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the I don't know. It just started as a band inside joke years ago. And we're just like, all right, that's, basically when we built the studio, we knew we were going to use it to make an album. And ever since then, it's just been, no more rules. We don't like rules. Just do whatever you want.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And where did you guys record it?
In that studio, in my garage that you've been to. Yeah.
Right.
Where we did the podcast there. Yeah. All of it was recorded and tracked in there.
So that's
start to finish.
Your home, correct?
Yep. Yeah. That is my garage. Yeah. Wow. I sleep 50 feet away from there. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. That was, it was the ultimate goal. Once we left this place, that's why we left this place, is because we had that space now. And yeah, we just built it up. It's, already knew what we wanted to use it for, right? We were already doing the podcast. We knew we needed space to do that. And we, knew we wanted to play and rehearse in there, so we just kind of, tailored it to our specific needs. And it's, like you said, it's modular. You can shift stuff around. You can,
right?
Like we're shooting a video in there right now, and.
Well, you do your weekly drum videos.
Yeah, my Drum Monday videos. Yeah, I do those. You've seen exactly where that happens. We painted one of the walls green, green screen, so that, we have a built-in green screen whenever we need it. And yeah, that just proves useful. That's where it gets most of its use, honestly, is those little weekly posts I do, yeah.
And how can listeners
you can you can find those weekly posts on my Instagram, at Millennial Whoop, which is the name of, if I have a solo project, that's the name of the solo project.
Okay.
Millennial.whoop. Like, I don't know. Do you know what a millennial whoop is?
No.
Oh, it's a really nerdy thing. It's a musical figure that happened in like a bunch of pop songs from like the mid 2000s to like the early, teens of like the most famous one is maybe California Girls, but it's in like tons of pop songs. It's just the yeah. So they like just some on some day or other I found like just like a YouTube, supercut of all the songs that have that little figure in it. There's like, Carly Rae Jepsen has it, Taylor Swift I'm sure has a couple. Yeah. So I just named myself after that because it is a cool little, it's just a little pop move,
Yeah.
And someone coined it the millennial whoop because millennials use it in their pop songs. But,
yeah.
So yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah, it's fun. So it's just a silly little name. But yeah, that's where you can see my silly drum posts. I also do post them on the Filmspeed account too. So follow the Filmspeed account, frankly, because we need the followers more there. So go follow the Filmspeed music account. But yeah, that's every week I just try and pick a cool song that I like, and by a band I haven't done yet.
Okay.
And learn the drum part and just play it. And
Badass.
try and make it a bit of like a game show. Guess the song before I bring the music in and stuff.
Okay.
See if you can identify the song by the drum part.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so then you also host a podcast, which Lemmy Novato's been
you guys
part
have
of
been
a
on,
couple times. What's the name of that, and how can people?
Yeah, that's called Consistently Off with Filmspeed. That literally just started. Boy, we were looking back. We're coming up on our 200th episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty soon, in about like 6 weeks or something like that, it'll be episode 200.
Awesome.
And maybe even less at this point. But anyway, yeah, it just started because like 5 years ago, we did it like on and off. It wasn't like weekly from the beginning. But we started it a long time ago just because, I'm such good buddies with my bandmates, and I would come into band practice. We would all get together and just like gab before, and like, 2 hours would go by and we'd be like, oh shit, we haven't played any music, So, we have to actually, have some outlet where we can just get our, socializing on. And then when we rehearse, we actually can do music.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the only reason it started. And, as you know, by having been on it, it's just us chit-chatting. There's no agenda, no nothing. It's just bullshit.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's just hanging out.
No,
Yeah.
I've enjoyed every time, and I've listened to like a few of my friends' bands episodes, like Shape Pataki and stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, so as we've been doing it more and more, we like to include guests, obviously. We've been, just friends bands. We've had a couple stranger bands that we, don't even know, but, just people ask to be on, and, we just like learning more about the scene, learning more about, because I like Nick always likes to say, like, we know you guys, we see you all the time at shows, but we don't actually talk, we don't actually get into anything. We don't know where you're from. We don't know like your history about anything. So, so this is a good little place where we can actually, get to know you as people versus just the guy you see at the show who's like, yeah, good set, man. Like, right.
Cool. And something else special about you guys that I've always admired is you guys have this awesome, like, I don't know what to call it, but you guys play at Anaheim Pond all the time?
Yeah. That's well, I got to shout out our boys Bristol to Memory on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, you know them.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I played with them.
Yeah, Bristol to Memory. Rory works at both the what's it called? Honda Center and Angel Stadium. He does sound for both of them.
Okay.
And through that, he met the entertainment director who last year was working at the Honda Center, but actually just this year switched to Angel Stadium. So through that, their entertainment director there, shout out Davin Maskey, he just wanted to get bands to play some shows there, and during games, in between whatever intermissions and stuff, and he just Bristol did it first. Bristol kind of paved the way, did it first, and they were super cool with everything, and luckily, like I said, shout out to the Bristol to Memory boys, because, when Devin asked who are some other bands that can do it, we were the first ones they said. And
amazing.
Yeah, so we're just lucky that, we have a good enough relationship with the Bristol boys. We love those guys so much, so, and we owe them a lot. So yeah, they got us a couple gigs at the Honda Center last year, and there were supposed to be more than one at the Angel Stadium this year, but some sort of weird permitting stuff went down with that. And,
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that was also super fun. Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Great. So just we'll get into it now.
Yeah. Let's get drummy.
Let's get drummy.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite drummer?
Keith Moon is the reason I play drums.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's just my good go-to answer, and I try and emulate him as much as possible. Like at the ripe old age of like 4 or whatever, I heard The Who and was like, that's fucking rad.
Yeah.
I can curse, right? Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's great. He's the best. And yeah, so he's always like the reason I started playing. But I mean, I don't know. I like everybody. I try and glean, something from all of the greats, all the classic dudes, the Bonhams, and then as I got older and studied jazz in college and stuff, obviously I have a jazz degree. That's what my
really
technically my degree is in jazz studies and jazz performance, drum performance. So
from
obviously,
where?
UCLA.
Holy shit!
Yeah. I went to UCLA.
Wow.
2010 to 2014. Hey,
that's incredible.
Yeah, it was a good time. And yeah, just, obviously I started playing jazz drums around like high school, and then I figured, jazz is the closest thing my heart's always in rock and roll, of course. I'm first and foremost a rock drummer, but jazz is the closest thing any good school is going to have to like a rock and roll program. I don't really trust like a Berkeley or like a pop music program or anything like that. I don't really trust. So, and plus I like jazz enough and figured, I want to get better at drumming, in that style. So I did. And, I'd say probably, throughout my college career and, when it comes to jazz, I think Elvin Jones is probably my favorite.
Ooh,
yeah. I think Elvin Jones is kind of the end all be all for my jazz taste. Of course there's plenty of other great ones. Tony Williams is amazing.
Yeah.
Max Roach, of course, there's thousands of names in that field too.
But Elvin Jones was like super like visceral, like all the live Coltrane stuff.
Right, yeah.
And then like obviously the records are amazing, but like all the live stuff I hear,
he's just so powerful.
Afro Blue and stuff. Like he'll just like rip out these crazy things. There's so many songs that I want to just drop, but like his relationship with like the ride, the snare, and the kick is totally not rock and roll.
It's not, but it sounds like it is. It's like about as close to rock drumming as you can get in a jazz setting, though. And just super powerful and always really like laid back, but still just like freaking loud and like awesome, but like always with this kind of like just kind of slumpy groove to it all the time too. He's the best.
I need to listen to some
Elvin's
Coltrane.
Elvin's the shit. Yeah, he's my guy. But yeah, I mean, in terms of rock drummers, Travis Barker, like honestly, is probably the one who's influenced my playing the most.
Okay.
If you want to talk just straight up 1-to-1 comparison, who I've learned the most from as a drummer, it's probably just Travis. I grew up loving Blink, still love Blink, and he's probably, one of, if not the best living drummer playing out right now. And he's just insanely good. And, just grew up playing along to Enema of the State and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Sweet.
Just throw them on headphones and, play along. And then, I bring them into my teacher. I had lessons growing up and I would just be like, Can you teach me this part? And then we'd figure them out together.
Okay.
And
it's challenging stuff.
It's hard, especially for me at the ripe old age of 11 or whatever,
Right. I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, like now, obviously you're on top of that stuff.
Oh yeah. I can, probably play the entire album back to front, but, and know every single lick and hi-hat splash or whatever. But, back in those days, that's because I had spent that time, just with headphones on or bringing them into my teacher and just was obsessed with it. And it's still a massive, massive influence on my playing today for sure.
It's so cool how he got into that band too. It's really funny. I went to the beach earlier today and I put on Idiot Box and Powdered Milkman from Fury of the Aquabats.
Nice, yeah. He was an Aquabats guy, that's right.
Yeah, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, they were touring together.
I think so.
Blink's old drummer, Scott, was still in the band, and then like for some reason, like he couldn't make shows or whatever. Travis Barker like learned the whole set in a day. And then just like became their drummer.
He just kind of was like, okay, so you're the drummer now, right?
Yeah. This dude's fired.
I think,
you're not Travis Barker.
Yeah, Scott, had drug problems and stuff too. But
yikes.
I think there was like some, they were going to kick him out anyway type stuff. But it just totally worked out. And, anyone can see Travis is the vastly superior drummer and just,
and that like,
that chemistry was just there.
And what do they say? A band's only as good as its drummer.
100%.
And their next record was Enema of the State.
Exactly.
And they blew up.
And then they became the biggest thing in the world. Yeah. No, it's totally true. And I firmly believe that. I was just actually saying that last night at this show we were at. You're only as good as your drummer, You gotta, if you don't have a good drummer in your band, what are you doing? It's not gonna sound good.
It's just not sucks. Watching a band and the drummer's like playing too light
or just struggling.
Slipping. It's like here, one is there, not there.
Yeah. Just like get some tempo, man.
Yeah.
Play with the click. Play with the metronome.
Put the work in.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Filmspeed's your only band?
Right now it is, yeah.
Okay.
And for a while there, I was playing with shout out to the band Throwaway out of Detroit.
Wow.
This girl Kirsten was living in LA at the time, and when she was, this is already a couple years ago, but we recorded some stuff. She's super awesome. I think they just opened for like Deerhoof or something really rad like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, like super artsy, punky, weird stuff with like a lot of weird time shifts and a lot of like, just kind of loose playing, kind of like,
it.
art punky stuff and very loud and visceral playing. So I loved that. That was a cool little project I had going for a little while. And then, yeah, I just, I write my own stuff on my own time too. Actually, for all of 2021, I was, I kind of just made myself a goal and put out a song a week.
Oh, wow.
Just, yeah, from start to finish using electric drums, unfortunately, like fake drums, but no, not actually recording real drums every week, obviously, but yeah, and I managed to do it for pretty much the whole year, and yeah, just start to finish, throw something together, write some crappy lyrics, and put it out. That's all on my YouTube if you want to check that out.
What's your YouTube?
It's Millennial Whoop. Check it
Okay.
out. Yeah, it's the channel. Couple covers in there and stuff too, and just made it a goal to really be extra productive that year for some reason. I think it was like kind of post-COVID haze a little bit. Yeah,
A bunch of pent up. I mean, that's a really good exercise. If nothing else, just to. And, I'm not sure what the dynamic is writing-wise of your band, but obviously you guys are all playing off each other.
Mm-hmm.
And, seems like you have an open kind of...
Yeah, for Filmspeed, it's very collaborative. Like,
Cool.
we all want to make sure we're happy with what we're doing. But I will say Craig is definitely the spearhead of the songwriting process. He brings in kind of, he brings in the bare bones, and then we get to, mess with it however we want.
Nice.
But yeah, he's definitely like kind of the, the impetus and like the first, the catalyst, I guess. But yeah, for something like my thing, yeah, it was just, total creative freedom, say yes to everything. Don't, you got to have something out by Friday, It doesn't it doesn't matter if it's even done, So yeah, it just that discipline and like that, enforcing a self-imposed deadline like that was just, like you said, a good exercise. Just,
I love that word discipline.
Yeah.
Man. It's key.
Yeah, it is. And, luckily when 2021 ended, I was just like, all right, I'm going to ease up on the brakes a little bit. It was tough, man. Like, it just took up like, the whole time. You just like, fuck, I got to get home and lay down some bass parts or I'm not going to have it done. Or like,
right.
Oh shit, I don't have any lyrics this week, and you're writing them in the booth as you're recording them, and
that's cool though.
But it's fun. Yeah. It's why you do it basically. Yeah.
What drumsticks do you use?
I'm a ProMark guy.
Okay.
Don't know why. 5As. 5As, I go back and forth between 5As and 5Bs.
All right.
I don't really know why. I think, 5As feel better in my hands, but they're a little too thin and they break a little easy. So when I want a little more punch, I do the 5B thing. But then those always just feel a little too heavy for me. So I don't know. If I ever get my custom stick made, it'll be like somewhere square in the middle between those two.
Okay.
But yeah. I don't know why ProMark. Just it's always kind of been that, has been at least since college. But
I'm thinking now, since you mentioned something in between that, I'm wondering what the Vic Firth 55A diameter is, if it's right in between.
Is it?
It might be.
Yeah.
I use a different size, but I'm a Vic Firth guy.
Yeah.
And I just remember seeing that, and it makes me wonder if that falls right in between there.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is like it's a completely arbitrary brand loyalty. Like every single time I've held a pair of Vic Firth sticks, I'm like, fuck, these are really nice. Like these are really good sticks, they're solid, and like there's nobody holding me back saying I can't switch. So
ProMark's interesting though, because they do two different philosophies of sticks. They have like I don't remember what that...
They have like the forward and the rebound thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm using the forward. I tried both. I'm using the forward ones right now. But yeah, it really, I think it has to do with weight distribution or something like that.
Yeah, more in the, either in the front or in the back.
Like something like that, yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I don't even know what mine would be. It's like,
right.
Just think like, oh, I just want balance. But that's kind of nebulous. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Just what feels good.
Yeah.
I tried both. I think I kind of prefer the forward just a little bit. It's a very subtle difference.
Okay.
If you look at them, they look almost exactly the same because they're both just 5A sticks. But maybe if you like hold them like this, you can see.
Gotcha.
A little bit of a taper or whatever. But,
okay.
Yeah.
What kind of kit do you play?
I have had my Gretsch Catalina Club since 2010.
All right.
I got that, as my freshman in college present was like, you got a new kit, you're starting college,
Hell yeah.
So that's been the kit ever since in 2010. Yeah, 24-inch kick, black wraps.
Wow.
Love it. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the dimensions rundown?
Yeah, so 24-inch kick, 13 rack, 16 floor, and then I have a bunch of snares.
Okay.
I'm not even using the Gretsch snare right now. I'm using a Ludwig one.
Sweet.
But yeah, and then it's like basically a big band kit essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super thuddy. In a pure Oliver move and born out of laziness, I took the resonant heads off of all the toms.
Okay.
Both toms.
Yeah.
Just because for transport it was easy to like just toss the rack tom inside the floor tom and just like
Nice.
and just transport that and throw that in your car.
Okay.
But also like I don't know. Call me crazy. I'm like about the least tone snobby person on the planet. When it comes to drums or guitar or anything, like if it's loud and distorted, I'm pretty much happy. Like I get it. There's subjectivity there, and there's and there are gradations of distortion. Of course, I can hear all that, but also like, dude, if it sounds good, it sounds good. If you want to look for something better, try something. But if it's good, it's good. And so when that comes to res heads, I just left them off, and I fucking hit the batter heads hard enough to where they project, they're loud, and that was probably around like I don't know, 2016 or 17. I took them off, and they haven't been back on since.
Wow.
So, yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah. So right now it's just two. They're basically concert toms, right? Like a rack tom with no, there's not even a hoop on it. It's just just wood down there, and then the same with the floor tom. Yeah.
I saw this guy was trying to be controversial on YouTube, but he's like, yeah, like wood grain and all this, like the bearing edges and all this shit, it doesn't really matter for most people's purposes.
Right, yeah.
Because like the collar of the heads that you're using probably don't fit snugly in between the hoop and the bearing edge and all this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, man, that's a really good point, but like I want to hate you because like the time and attention that I've put into like trying to be a better tuner.
Yes.
And like, debating between, is my next kit going to be just an upgraded wood type, or am I going to go acrylic, and what's the difference between all that?
Yeah.
And then
wood type, I would say, does matter a little bit, because that's actually what's shaking and vibrating. That can have some real effect.
Right. Yeah. And this guy had like a giant kit behind him, and then he is an older guy, and I don't even know what the channel name was, but it just popped up on my feed type of thing, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, this guy's like half full of shit, but he's kind of onto something. Yeah. And like, he's probably both right and wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely, agree with him in spirit of like, dude, if it just sounds good, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Like if you can hit it and it makes noise, it's good.
Yeah.
But that being said, for this new record we just did, I, was tuning all the time, making sure it matched the key of the song or whatever,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Usually just like, floor tom on the root, rack tom on either like the fourth or the fifth or something like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just but like that's so easy,
Just the batter heads, or do you?
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't have res heads.
You didn't put resos on for the recording.
Nope,
okay.
Nope. That was all just just as is, and I mean, it made it real simple. And another cool thing we did, actually, it was pretty fun on 420 of, I guess it would have been this year. No, this year or last year. Shit, it's been so long. 420, I guess it would have been last year. We got drum samples for the whole record. And we just got really baked and just like, just sat there tuning all the samples, or tuning all the snares and tuning all the like, toms and stuff to like just get individual hits and stuff.
Dude, I think that was one of the last, we've only been on the podcast twice. It was near one of the times that we were there, because I remember you guys talking about that.
But that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
And, we just used that for reinforcement on pretty much everything, like especially on snares and kicks and stuff.
That's smart.
Yeah. Just, throw an extra little snare under it and give it a little more beef. And it was just fun. We were just, we did that with drums. We did it, with the guitars, but it was mostly with the drums. Just like, all right, hit it 4 times. Do it 4 quiet ones, 4 medium ones, 4 loud ones,
So then you like sidechain them on to transients? Or?
Yeah, so Craig he found a plugin called Sound Replacer that actually basically does just like, find transients, and then you can swap stuff out.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And like we usually mostly used it for support, but there are some parts that like literally the entire thing is just samples.
Wow.
Because it just sounded better or whatever.
It's
We needed
your
it extra
sound.
compressed or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if you just wanted to sound super consistent and like machine gunny,
Yeah.
then that's what you do. You just fucking put the same sample on, in 16th notes, and it'll sound like a big ratty machine gun roll,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like your current kit situation's real dialed in.
Yeah, so that's the studio kit, but I do also have a cocktail kit that I use for gigs that I just used last night actually, and was the first time in a while. Also a Gretsch kit.
Okay.
I think it's also a Catalina of some kind. I don't remember what it's actually called, but that's way smaller. That's a 18-inch kick. Yeah, nice little tiny guy, and 12-inch rack and 14-inch floor.
Okay.
Those do have res
that's a
heads on
jazz
them.
kit.
Yeah, it is a jazz kit. But I play rock on it all the time.
Damn.
Use it for used it last night for a Filmspeed gig, but usually use it for like cover gigs and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so portable. It's the best. Like it fits
Punchy
in any car.
and-
Yeah, but it does the job.
Yeah.
If you're micing the kick, you're gonna mic the kick anyway, and it'll still carry.
Sure.
And yeah, it's fun. And like honestly, I just I'm a lazy guy. I don't want to lug shit around. It's nice and portable, and and it's easy. And got the hardware box. I luckily have 2 sets of hardware now.
Okay.
And just have a ready bag, go like a gig bag essentially,
Yes.
just good to go, full of stands and a throne that's just living in the shed with that kit. Yeah, it's the dream.
I've contemplated something like that for a long time because
it's the dream, man.
breaking down every single time. You have 2 gigs in a week. You're just and you have to practice in between.
Oh yeah,
Fuck.
yeah. I mean, for me, it's definitely worth the investment. Like just leave the studio kit up. It's permanently there.
Okay.
It's entrenched. Although we did just move it out of the way for the music video today, but
Yeah.
but yeah, for gigs, like just have the bag. It's all packed up. It's ready to go, and just it's on wheels. It's the
Nice.
best. Yeah.
So, do you have a dream kit?
That is a very good question. I mean, I do, but I don't know what it is, if that makes sense. Like,
Let's do it right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I've always been a real big Ludwig fan.
Okay.
Yeah, and, just all the greats play them. But, like, I love my Gretsches, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I don't know. It's, I think probably I would make my kick a little smaller. 24 is big.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. And honestly, like I don't really need all that much. And the one thing I will say currently is that sometimes it gets in the way of my tom placement. If I'm readjusting something, I have to like really make sure I put the rack tom on a snare stand.
Okay. Me too.
Yeah, exactly. But like with a big ass, 24-inch kick in the way, like
2 inches. Off
yeah,
to the
this
other
one
side.
would be like, this thing would be, getting in the way and stuff. So, probably just, maybe even 22 inches would be enough, and, yeah, I do like the 13-inch toms, although I do like big fucking toms. So like I might, get like up to a 14 for a rack.
Fuck yeah.
And I do like 2 floor toms. I think I might want, like on my dream kit, would probably want like a 16 and an 18 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always liked 2 floor toms. I don't have it currently, but it is fun. Yeah, and then cymbals wise, I've always been a Zildjian guy. Still
Okay.
am. Yeah.
What's your favorite line?
Right now I have A Customs and I love them. They're just shingy and pop punky.
They're
I've always
bright,
been
right?
Yeah, very bright. I've always been a brighter guy. A washy. I like them nice and washy. I don't.
Yeah.
Of course, for jazz gigs, you definitely want them drier. But I have those two. My favorite cymbal I ever had that I still have. It's just ratty and broken now. I just break it out on very special occasions. Is the K Constantinople rides. That thing there. It's a 22-inch.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, like medium thin, whatever. Like but that thing was was and is like the best ride cymbal I've ever had. Super washy, but like if you hit it lightly, it's nice and dry. Until you give it a nice crack, and then it's like, whoa, that's huge. Nice bell sound too. Yeah, that thing was the jam, and I played it for I played it all through college and after. But then just wear and tear.
Right.
And then still have it. Like I said, I'll break it out. It's got some cracks in it now, but
The fine china.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's I'm also a firm believer in like don't throw shit out when it comes to cymbals. Throw it on a trash stack, find some use for it. Like
Okay.
it's useful in some way. I love a trash stack. I'm a huge John Theodore fan. I'm a huge like
Yeah.
What's the freaking Dom from Muse? Like they just put some shitty cymbals together and you got yourself like a nice little it sounds like a hi-hat but not
Yeah.
and just toss that over to whatever side you want. So I like that move too. And that's basically what I use all my broken ass cymbals for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you dug into the new Queens of the Stone Age record yet?
I have. Yeah. That thing is rad.
Okay.
Yeah. I was actually listening to it on the drive today. Not here, but to my house. Yeah.
I gotta give it another once over. I kind of started it, and Villains is my favorite record.
Oh, no shit.
Just
Okay.
because, like I think like John Theodore is like one of the best. Like,
I love John Theodore.
Fucking Delouse in the Crematorium was amazing.
Changed my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, opened my eyes drum wise too a lot, I'd say, because those are tough songs, but he makes them so natural,
Yes.
like incredibly organic and flows so nicely. But yeah, all those parts are really hard.
They're so crazy.
Yeah.
And then like what they did, the production wise on that record, like Mark Ronson making it like a pop record, but with the Josh Homme like super dry and like muffled drums and like the weird like scratchy guitar sound. I just think like those songs were among their best.
Yeah.
So
I'd say I'd take the new one over Villains, but that's
really
just me personally. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta listen to it.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I'm a hooks guy. I'd say I think the hooks on the new one are a little better, a little stronger.
Cool.
But tone wise, yeah, it's actually my favorite Queens of the Stone Age record is Era Vulgaris.
Okay.
For some reason, that's what got me into them. It was mid 2000s, and like not many people even cite that as an album of theirs because they don't really play any songs from it. But
what's that, like Sick is on there?
666, yeah, 666 is on there. Threes and Sevens.
Threes and Sevens is great. Yeah,
that's a really good one.
Little Sister isn't on that one.
No,
right?
that's Lullabies to Paralyze.
Okay,
That's the one before. Yeah.
Fuck, that song's so good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Queens of the Stone Age is just an incredible band.
Yes.
And all of their drummers have always been insanely good too.
Yeah.
From Dave Grohl to like Joey Castillo to
freaking
John Theodore. Like that's
it's
about as good as you
lineup.
can get. Yeah, yeah. I love that band. And yeah, I don't know. For some reason, Era Vulgaris was like hit me at the right time.
Okay.
And then obviously I got into the whole discography. But yeah.
What does drumming mean to you?
Oh, that is a very good question. I don't know. For me, I mean, it's just so all encompassing for me at this point. I've been playing since I was 4. So
wow.
Yeah, I got my first kit at 6. Had a kitty kit, like a little toy kit before then.
That's so sick.
Yeah, started lessons around like age 6 or something like that. So for me, it's just always been such a huge, just like integral part of my life that like I can't really picture anything without it. If that makes sense. But I don't know. I think, like you said, a band's only as good as its drummer. It's like the foundation of everything. Everything comes back to rhythm. I'm team rhythm forever. If it's rhythm versus melody, I'm team rhythm and always will be. Yeah, I don't know. It's a really, really good question. I just love it so much. It's just like, it's so, I don't know, caveman-y and so visceral to the human experience of like wanting to make noise and getting to hit things and, release aggression and all that stuff, but also make art out of it,
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's I don't know if that even is an answer, but
no,
that's
absolutely.
what I got.
So you started real young.
Yeah.
What was the situation like with neighbors and what was that whole scenario?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was growing up in Aliso Viejo, not far from here. And it was a nice suburban neighborhood, neighbors on either side, detached house, 2-story house, and my kit was square in the middle on there was like a little mezzanine kind of landing area upstairs.
Yeah.
My kit was just there.
Upstairs.
Yeah, upstairs.
It's projecting into the street.
Yeah. So when I would practice, my mom would go around, close all the windows, and luckily I just had really cool neighbors. They always, were supportive of me playing, and I obviously only played during daylight hours and all that stuff. So I just had cool neighbors, and they were just always supportive. And honestly, I never was self-conscious of it. I was just like, I want to play drums.
Yeah,
I'm playing
just
drums.
Shit. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you guys. I'm 8 years old. I don't give a shit. Like I'm just gonna play. So that's where it was for until high school. That was where my kit lived, and
right on.
Yeah. Luckily just had cool enough neighbors to, never call the cops or anything.
I was also similarly lucky with my neighbors. And I think in the beginning, everyone's always just kind of like, shit, like we have a drummer as one of our neighbors. But once you like kind of like cross the bridge into like, oh, they're taking it seriously and they're actually like good.
Getting better, yeah.
At least this person doesn't suck. I think that pays off.
I mean, that makes your neighbors forgive you more too. I think, you know, they're actually like able to hear some progress, you know, in your practicing and stuff. So yeah, I think that definitely plays into it. Yeah.
Cool. So getting kind of towards the end here,
Sure.
What are a few tips that you would give to listeners?
That's a very good question. I don't know. Practice, just freaking practice. Always play with a click. Don't be afraid of the click. I don't know. It took me, you know, a good, you know, maybe 15 years of my life to realize that clicks are a good thing. But, you know, as soon as I bit the bullet and realized that metronomes are your friend, they are not your enemy. Yeah, I mean, it immediately will improve your playing. Play with a click. Yeah, I mean, I love teaching. I teach lessons currently right now, actually. I have a couple
Very
drum
cool.
students. Yeah.
Okay.
They're all on summer vacation right now, so like, you know, scheduling is weird, but
Yeah.
I do have students, and you know, my dad said this to me while I was growing up, and I, you know, came around to believe it too, that I think drums are probably the best first instrument for a kid to learn in a lot of ways, because it teaches you limb independence, it teaches you rhythm, obviously, and you know, you're moving coordinated limbs all over the place, and you know, teaches you how to arrange things if you're playing, like, you know, playing stuff on the toms or playing stuff in you know, ride cymbal or whatever. It's a totally different thing, even if you're playing the same groove on the floor tom versus playing it on the ride, you know. So it teaches you just like different musical, you know, tricks and necessities that, you know, you can apply to other instruments, of course, but it's just the solid foundation for all of music in my view. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else that you'd like to cover? Did you come here with like a secret agenda?
For drums?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm currently trying to learn double kick. That's something for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is new?
Yeah, this is new for me.
Interesting.
Starting like literally this year, starting 2023.
Do you have a pedal?
I have a pedal. Yeah,
What'd
I've got
you
a Gibraltar like direct drive pedal.
You got a Gibraltar
Yeah.
direct drive. That is very unique.
Yeah. I was just, researching price point, and you know, did know that, like, you know, I wanted a direct drive pedal of some kind.
Okay.
And yeah, it was honestly kind of just the cheapest one.
Okay.
But
they're super reliable.
Yeah, it works great. I have no problems with it. And like growing up, I've always been a single kick guy. Still am, technically, because I suck so bad at double kick. But yeah, since 2023, I was just like, I got it for Christmas. And it was like, you know, 2023 is my double kick year. I'm gonna, you know, I had a brief stint with one in like middle school, probably. I think I had like a DW double kick that I just never really took to.
Yeah.
And then just throughout high school and college was all single kick. I have an awesome right foot. My right foot's great. and now my left foot just has to catch up.
Yep. So there's you know Thomas Lang?
Mm-hmm, of course, yeah.
There's a Drumeo video he did. I think it's his first one from a few years ago.
Okay.
And the whole video is like an hour and a half, and he just goes through every main rudiment.
Nice.
Starts with singles, doubles, triplets, 4-stroke roll, 5,
Nice.
6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
And everything that he does with his hands, he does with his feet.
Wow.
And I
probably something I should do.
I would strongly encourage watching that video. It changed because I've been playing double pedal since the very beginning.
Right.
I've always been into metal.
Yeah.
But I was always just single stroke. And I still am when I play.
Yeah.
But when I warm up and just for like an exercise, just as a percussionist, I'll do like my warm up is like keep singles rolling on the feet, and then I'll do like singles, doubles, paradiddles, triplets with my hands.
Oh, nice.
Just through like 120, 140, 160 BPM, build up just to get loose.
Nice.
Not all the time, sometimes.
Sure.
But then I was like, okay, I need to start doing all that shit with my feet.
Right. Yeah.
And now I'm doing paradiddles with my feet and like holding a beat on top of it.
That's fun.
And
Nice.
it took a long time,
I
dude.
bet. Yeah.
It's challenging. So that's fucking rad that you're doing it.
Yeah,
Like, welcome to the double pedal world.
Thanks. I'm still, you know, in that frustrated phase of like, God damn it, I can do all of this with my right foot.
Yeah.
Only. You know, like, I'm definitely doing the rudiment thing. I'm just, you know, been just looking at YouTube tutorials and stuff
For
too.
sure.
Haven't seen any Thomas Lang stuff, but yeah, that I mean, obviously sounds super helpful.
I'll send you that.
Yeah, please
video.
do. Yeah,
It's-
send me a
it's
link.
Totally
Yeah.
worth watching like the first, because it gets pretty after like the fourth and fifth stroke roll. You're like, okay, you're just doing this for every,
all of them. Yeah.
But it's fascinating the way he talks about it. What are like your top 2 or 3 bands that you're listening to that utilize double pedal?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Well, obviously Meshuggah's huge.
Okay.
Yeah, but actually probably like, so like I'm in my little like mental stage of like where I want to get and what I want to achieve. Obviously like get to the bleed level and all that stuff, but someday. But right now where I kind of want to focus is like and kind of what drove a lot of this whole decision to get a double kick and like just learn and get better at it was Dance Gavin Dance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have a friend that's really into them.
Yeah, incredible band. I am blanking on the drummer's name because I suck, but he's incredibly good and super tasteful. Like, doesn't use it all the time, but just uses it in the right place.
That's a key
it's not like he's
concept.
running all the time.
Yeah.
He's not running every single heavy part. He's not just playing, but like he's actually making parts out of it.
Yeah.
And, like, arranging well with it. So that's kind of where I want to get to, at least just for me personally. But then of course, I mean, who doesn't want to fucking play Meshuggah songs and shred, so that's just kind of where I'm at. And like, right now I'm still just fucking with a click, I don't know. Maybe you've seen some of my stories of me practicing. Like every now and then I'll just post a story of me like just drilling with a click. Here's my left foot,
That's what's up, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy how like, and Thomas Lang talks about it in the video, like how one side of our body is always kind of like dragging and lacking. Is like you're half the drummer that you could be if you're not training this other side of your body.
Yeah.
And I have a couple friends that are like, they're drummers and they're just like adamantly against double pedal. And I'm like, oh, why?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of was that way for a while, but I mean, obviously my mind's changed and I've never not liked it. Like I've always liked metal. I've always loved metal drummers and always seen the merit of it. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree with him. Like you have 4 limbs. Why not just make the most of all 4 of them?
Yeah.
And and when that comes to hands, actually, I definitely believe that because like I try and switch up. If there's a
do a lot of open hand stuff.
Yeah, and that's honestly kind of just for fun and showmanship.
Okay,
but like,
rad.
But that's why, right? Like the performance aspect matters to me.
It's huge.
Talk about Keith Moon, right? He's like the flashiest, showiest drummer of all time.
Yeah,
and he's having the most fun of any drummer I've ever seen on stage, right? But like, so that kind of is just like you want to be that versatile to where you don't have to think about what hand you're using at any given time. And then obviously that applies to my feet as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to say that I am kind of at a point where like, as long as I get the notes out, it doesn't matter what hand I'm using or like where I put my hands or anything like that. As long as I'm getting what I'm trying to say across.
Yeah.
I can use either hand. So
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Sweet, Oliver. Well, it's great talking to you.
Yeah, you too,
always.
Man. This was super fun.
And we'll just have to have you on again.
Of course, anytime, man. I live real close, man. Anytime you need me.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again.
Cool, dude.